This guy has been inspected and approved by Luminous.
Hey guys, this is SunsFan and welcome to the official Dota Cinema Guide to Ancient Apparition. If you aren't familiar with this hero, you may want to watch the introduction we did for him at the corresponding link. Ancient Apparition, otherwise known as AA, is an intelligence hero who excels as a support or a solo mid if the situation calls for it. He is terrific in team fights and truly excels at crippling team pushes. Skill build. Cold Feet is the first skill you max in just about every situation. This skill will not only provide you with a nice dot, but will also force enemies away from the creep wave, therefore letting you or an ally net some easy last hits. And of course, if they don't respect your Cold Feet, then they'll pay the price. Your next focus will be Ice Vortex, as it's not only a great slow, but will actually allow your Cold Feet to do more damage. If you're having trouble staying alive in lane, then getting stats over Ice Vortex is actually a legitimate option, since AA is so squishy. As far as your ultimate, Ice Blast, goes, stick to standards and level it at 6, 11, and 16. And now the debate begins. Some would say to level your third skill, Chilling Touch, as you would most other heroes. Most pros would say no to this, however. Like we stated earlier, stats should not be overlooked. They may not be the sexy choice, but it will truly give AA a lot more survivability. Chilling Touch, on the other hand, isn't really helpful on anyone but a carry, as it will slow most heroes' attack speed down too much. We will officially chalk this down to personal preference, but if you get flamed for using it, don't say we didn't warn you. Item build. As a good support, your starting item should resemble most other supports. This would entail you buying either the wards or courier, and then stockpiling both regeneration and iron branches. Item choices past this point are dependent on what role you're playing. If you're a solo AA and you're able to farm up a bit, getting arcane boots to help the team is usually the best choice. After this, going for utility items like a Force Staff and Mechanism are always appreciated. One item in particular that works really well is Yules, since used in conjunction with your Cold Feet spell will guarantee you to proc the stun. If you're playing the support role, your boots of choice interestingly enough changes to treads, mainly because of the survivability. And because you won't be getting as much gold as a solo mid, focus on wards and smoke like a good little support. For luxury items, you can pretty much list any intelligence-based item, but most notably we will recommend a Scythe of Vice and Shiva's. Gameplay. If you're dual or tri-laning with AA, then try and be aggressive, especially if you're coupled with a guaranteed stun. If you're solo mid, then just spam your Cold Feet endlessly to get the opposing mid off of the lane. Also keep in mind that Ice Vortex has a long cast range and can be used to scout. So in situations where both teams are holding hands by their respective towers, having these vortexes up constantly can be quite annoying. But again, only do this if your mana pool allows for it. In team fights, try and get as many heroes in your ultimate as possible. Then Cold Feet an important target so he's forced to run away from the fight. This is all while you are constantly keeping the battlefield littered with your Ice Vortex. The most important trait of a good Ancient Apparition is communication with your team, especially when looking to gank. Generally speaking, you'll have to fire your Ice Blast before a teamfight even occurs if it's across the map, so communication is key to getting your team a lot of kills. In little skirmishes, AA will generally want to hang back most of the time in order to ensure a larger AoE on your ulti. But of course you want to hang back most times anyway because of your lack of tankiness. If you feel a fight isn't going to break out anytime soon, then your ulti could potentially be used to farm up creeps as well. Just be sure you aren't stealing farm from your carries. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that AA is most commonly picked up to counter healing and pushing strats. And not to spend too much time on it, but the reason for this is of course his wondrous ultimate. One final note that some people overlook is that overshooting your ultimate is considered a good thing in most cases. There's a simple reason for this. Yes, the location in which you choose to Ice Blast will take burst damage, but anything your ultimate comes in contact with up until that point will still have the Frostbitten debuff applied to them, meaning they will still take damage over time, they will still have the regeneration ceased, and they will still be prone to shattering if their health lies below the limit. Friends and foes. Friends of AA are pretty easy to come by. Any hero with an easy to land stun or slow in combination with AA's Cold Feet will easily dominate most lanes. A few examples of this would include Venomancer and Lifestealer with their easy to land slows, to go along with Dragonite and Earthshaker with their juicy stuns. Enemies of our Icicle-obsessed friend are those with disables or burst damage, especially in the very early game because of AA's lack of survivability. The list is long, but a few of them would include our usual suspects of Shadow Shaman, Lion, and Vengeful Spirit. Thanks for watching, guys, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, a special shout out goes to Flawless and Luminous for their help in writing this guide. You can check them out at their respective YouTube channels, which are linked in the video description. And finally, be sure to check out our new website at dotacinema.com, where you can find a ton of Dota 2 videos along with our live streaming page, which includes me playing with you guys on a nightly basis. My name is SunsFan, and until next time.